The rain fell hard that night, drumming like 1,000 tiny hammers against the windshield. Ethan Granger tightened his grip on the steering wheel as his beat-up Chevy truck rumbled down the quiet back road. His 7-year-old son, Luke, was asleep in the back seat, arms wrapped around his tattered stuffed dog. They were coming home from the late shift at the diner where Ethan washed dishes and sometimes filled in as short-order cook when the regular didn't show. Life had been relentlessly hard since his wife passed away 2 years ago. Between work, Luke's school, and rent, there wasn't much room left for anything else. But Ethan kept going, because that's what fathers did. As he rounded a bend, his headlights caught a figure on the roadside, soaked, shivering, and trying to shield herself from the downpour with a flimsy hospital jacket. Without thinking, he pulled over. The woman looked up, startled, and then hesitantly approached. Her name was Claire. She was a nurse, she said, and her car had broken down on her way home from the hospital. Ethan offered her a ride. She hesitated. "Are you sure? I don't want to be a burden." Ethan gave a tired smile. "You look like you've helped a lot of people today. Let someone help you for once." She got in, and for the next 20 minutes, they drove in silence broken only by the hum of the heater and the occasional sleepy murmur from Luke in the back. Claire watched him with curious eyes. "You're raising him on your own?" "Yeah. His mom, she passed from cancer. Luke was 5. Claire's expression softened, but she didn't say anything. "Not yet." When they reached her apartment building, she turned to him and said, "You don't know what this meant to me." "Thank you." Before Ethan could respond, Claire leaned forward, reached into her bag, and pulled out a worn photo. "This is my son. His name was Jonah." "Was." Her voice cracked as she explained. "Jonah had died 2 years ago. He'd been 8. A car accident. She'd been on shift, working a double. She never made it to his school play. That guilt had haunted her every day since." After that night, Claire buried herself in work, helping others because she didn't know how to help herself. "I stopped living after Jonah died," she whispered. "Tonight was the first time in a long time I felt seen." There was silence in the car. A silence so heavy it felt sacred. Then Ethan said, "You helped me more than you know. I've been going through the motions, trying not to drown. But hearing you, it makes me think maybe there's a way forward. For both of us." They stayed in touch. Over the next few months, Claire became a part of their lives. At first, she just stopped by to check in on Luke, sometimes bringing him a book or a homemade meal. But slowly, something deeper began to grow between them, something built on shared grief, quiet understanding, and small, everyday kindnesses. One day, while they were at the park, Luke held Claire's hand and said, "I wish you were my mom." Claire knelt down, tears in her eyes. "I'm not your mom, honey. But I love you like a son." Ethan watched from the bench, overwhelmed. It wasn't flashy or dramatic, but it was real. And in that moment, he realized the broken pieces of his life were slowly rearranging into something whole. The shock wasn't that Claire had lost a child. It was that despite all her pain, she still chose to love again. She didn't just survive her grief, she transformed it into compassion. That's what stunned Ethan to his core. He had expected to offer help that rainy night. He never imagined he was the one who would be saved. 1 year later, under a soft spring sky, Ethan stood beside Claire in the backyard of their small home. Luke was chasing bubbles, laughter echoing through the warm air. Claire slipped her hand into Ethan's. "Do you think they would have been friends? Jonah and Luke?" Ethan smiled. "No doubt in my mind." They stood in silence, not as two broken people, but as a family reborn, not in the absence of loss, but in the presence of love.